Milligan Wahl, and I am a professional organizer. Today, I am giving you a special treat. This is the first time I've ever done this. I am showing you the way I organize my closet. So if you are ready, follow me. Let's go inside. When I designed this closet, what I was really thinking about is keeping everything visible. I love getting dressed. I love expressing myself through fashion. And in order to do that, I really need to be able to see what my options are. So let's talk about my favorite thing, which are shoes. They are on these shelves behind this glass door that kind of protects them from dust. There are not those fancy diagonal shelves that you often see in very high-end closets. That's because those are actually very space inefficient. The other thing I want you to notice is that these are not in boxes. I do not keep shoe boxes, and I will tell you why. Number one, they take up a lot of space. Number two, you can't see the shoes inside. Number three, the materials break down over time. If I'm working in closets that are pretty small and we need to get everything into a compact area, I love a good old-fashioned shoe rack, especially a really simple one that's expandable, made out of chrome, and you can stack the units up. You can fit a lot of shoes in a very small footprint that way. You can see I have two sections of short hang here, tops on the top, bottoms on the bottom. It's highly logical. What you can't see as well is that there is some long hang back in this corner, and that's where all my dresses are. This is because of the way I personally dress. I tend to wear more separates than dresses. I live here in San Francisco. It's a relatively informal culture. I tend to overdress, but there's still a limit to that, so it just makes sense for me to have all of my separates more accessible. And what I want you to notice is that you can really see all the clothes because the hangers all match and they recede into the visual background. A lot of visual clutter in closets comes from the fact that the hangers are all kinds of different colors and materials. I like these because fabrics don't fall off them as much and they're very narrow, so you can fit a lot more in the same amount of space. But not everybody loves these hangers. That's okay. I do think that the most important part is that whatever you do, you pick all hangers that match. It just really helps for the look and feel of being in your closet and picking out your clothes. So when you're thinking about where to store things in your closet, you want to think about accessibility. What are you using more frequently and what are you using less frequently? So I have hats up there because I do love a good hat, but I'm not wearing them all that often in my daily life. Up in that corner, I have some knits that I wear less often. I do need a step ladder to reach that, so obviously that's not a good place to put things I wear all the time. And in more accessible shelves right here that I can actually reach are some sweats and loungewear because Lord only knows we are living in sweats and loungewear this year in 2020. And I want you to notice that these are also not in dust bags, same as my shoes weren't in boxes. And the reason is I need to be able to see what I've got in order to be able to use it. Anything in a dust bag really tends to be out of sight, out of mind. But I do want to show you one little trick that really helps preserve your bags and also helps them look really nice on the shelf. This is a purse filler. This one comes from the Container Store. I really like it, but you don't have to spend extra money on something like this. You can take an old pillowcase, stuff it with whatever fabric scraps you've got. Boom, you have a purse filler. And what I'm using to organize these is an acrylic letter sorter. This actually comes from the office section of the Container Store, but it makes a great repurposed storage for clutches. Now, the one thing I would say is make sure you measure the bags that you have. The width is pretty narrow and not every bag is going to fit inside these. For example, this guy, it doesn't fit. I prefer to put my knits, so t-shirts, sweaters, that kind of thing, in drawers. I believe that they should always be folded because when you put those type of pieces on a hanger, the shoulders can stretch out. You get those weird lumps and bumps. It's just not very nice to the fabric over time and your pieces will look less good. These are my sweaters and I do the fold vertically so that I can see what I've got every time I open that drawer. I find that works a lot better than stacking the sweaters. If you don't have drawers, shelves totally work. What I recommend is getting some shelf dividers to divide the space on your shelves, and that also makes sure that when you have stacks of sweaters, they don't necessarily topple over when you're having to pull things out. In closets, I've used hooks for a lot of things. I've used them for baseball caps. I've used them for belts. I've used them for scarves. Basically anything where you're like, I'm not sure how to store this. It needs to hang. I can't fold it, but it doesn't go on a hanger. That's when you use a hook. Well, that is about it. Thank you so much for visiting. If you'd like to find out more about my organizing work and ask me any follow-up questions you might have, just go to my website, lmwedits.com. and I look forward to continuing the conversation with you. Have a great day.